Good morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone. Hey, Miss Kaz, good morning. Hey, everyone. Good morning, Azor. What's going on, my friends? MSQ and East Peace well today? Kind of, right? It's really weird because we've only got 3 hours. This is going to be like the shortest MSQ stream I've ever had. Because I have Mythic Plus and Raid today, so it's going to be a small MSQ day. But on the other hand, the MSQ that we're doing is real good. We're doing the last of Shadowbringers, and we're doing the trailer. And then if we have extra time, I think Vi wants me to read some short stories. Put Endwalker trailer after Mythic Raid? Man, that would be mean of me, wouldn't it? But I'm not that mean. No one wants to watch the Mythic Raid, so I'll do that. I'll do the trailer before the raid, and then everyone can fuck off and not watch WoW. You and your PC feeling well? I feel pretty good. I hope my PC's feeling good. I dusted it, and we'll see if that does any good. Good morning, Elia. Good morning, everyone. Gotta work during trailer time? You will have to do the VOD, my friend. PC not exploding? I don't know. It was just hot. Speaking of being hot, I'm gonna go turn the AC up. I feel hot too. You'll react to the trailer randomly during Mythic WoW? I mean, the odds of me talking about Final Fantasy during WoW are pretty high. That's just inevitable. Hey, Smalley, good morning. Good morning, everyone. Hey, Chaos. Almost done with Shadowbringers. It's true. I think we've got this scenario and not much else. What happened yesterday to the stream? My computer crashed. You know? PC overheated and crashed. Hey, Mono. Yeah, PC was done with my shit, man. Yesterday was 13 and a half hours, and my PC was like, nope, I'm done. Going to bed. Have you talked to anyone giving MSQ a shot, guys? I don't know what you guys think I do with my friends, but it's not, you know, it's not every day log into TeamSpeak and say, hey guys, you have to play the MSQ. Have you decided to play the MSQ yet? Guys, you need to play the MSQ. Scribe, can I sit down and tell you for 30 minutes about our Lord and Savior, the MSQ? This is not what happens. Did you have time to talk this morning about our Lord and Savior, the MSQ? I fear that I spend a lot less time trying to convince people to play the MSQ than you guys think I do. Good morning. More people trying to get me to do something. I'm the same way, Miss Kaz. It's true. I think a lot of people are. We're all contrarians at heart. Yeah, when anyone asks me about my experience, I tell them the truth. Scripe has expressed curiosity on several occasions about how much I'm enjoying it and whether I find it worthwhile, and I tell them the truth. But that's it. I'm not going to turn into a Mormon missionary of the MSQ. Dressing up in suits, going abroad, knocking on doors, handing out pamphlets. These are my friends. Why not? Yeah. The Toonies reaction Andy, like that's different though. That's okay becoming a reaction Andy, but Mike never once DM'd me and said, "Yo, you got to play the MSQ." Cup of coffee, Neonlit. You're a saint. Thank you very, very much. Let's have some coffee. I can't. It goes on my table. Well, we'll put it on my table later. In the meantime, I'll eat some nut bake for breakfast. A nice pastry. As you can see, I mean, I can't know for sure. I didn't even notice I was overeating yesterday. But I dusted it out and we'll see what happens. What happened yesterday? PC crashed. One more, two more, maybe four more minutes of stalling until like 5:15. Give people time to get here. Hey Jen, good morning. And then we'll get going. Do you regret not having experienced MSQ before? No, not in the least. If I had done the MSQ before, then I wouldn't be doing it now. Past Jesse would be better off, and present Jesse would be worse off. Frankly, fuck past Jesse. I'm glad I'm having the fun. Any ETA? Sometime in the middle of July, I'm not sure. Yeah, also DSR is what prompted me to try it in the first place. There was pretty much no world in which I would have done it in the past. Glad to follow up with DSR for the rest of 22. You mean for July, I think. A little bit of a typo there. Have you hugged your daughter since Whirlit? I hug my daughters most days. Video games aside. Glad you're doing it. I'm glad that you're glad that I'm doing it. But are you glad that I'm glad that you're glad that I'm doing it? How do you enjoy Final Fantasy? Oh, the endgame? I think that Final Fantasy PvE is very good. It's very good. It's very different than WoW, which in itself is good, and it's also very good. The Savage races are short, sweet, and fun. I would say on average, a Savage tier is like the mid-tier of Mythic WoW raids, which are often very good. And then I've only done the one ultimate, and I haven't even done that, but it is on par or more difficult than anything you can find in WoW. And by on par, I mean every bit as good in terms of quality. Very, very different, but extremely good. I think that DSR itself may be the greatest PvE experience, encounter that I've ever played. So, I'm a big fan of the Final Fantasy endgame. I think it's awesome. I love playing them both. Should WoW do Ultimate? Nope. WoW and Final Fantasy are different. Take a while to get used to 8-man? Nope. It really doesn't. I have not done anything other than DSR progression, no. What happened at the end of the stream? PC just crashed, you know? Just crashed. What's that? Both games are different. Both games are very different, and to a large extent, that's a good thing. I want them to be different. I want them to do encounters in different ways. More variety is good. If you enjoy Final Fantasy encounters, you will very likely enjoy WoW encounters as well. They're both, you know, PvE, MMO encounters, and they're both very good. They're different, but they're good. Hey Santa, good morning. You make Robin your main? Yeah, Robin will be my main in the upcoming Savage tier. Morning, Wise Donkey. Ready to get my pitchforks? No. I didn't delete anything. The people who were watching the stream did not have any preferential treatment compared to the people watching the VODs, except that they knew what was happening, because I typed in stream after I got on my phone about what had happened. My PC crashed, everything was gone. It was funny because like it went to a black loading screen, and then the little thing in the right hand corner stopped turning, and I was like, are you guys there? And then I couldn't tab out, and I knew that you were in fact not there. And then the whole PC was just gone. I'm like 99% sure it was a graphics card overheating thing. Thought it was the best bait ever. Man, it was unfortunate that I had teased about baiting you guys with cinematic later, and then that happened. It wasn't bait. It was just, you know, it was bad. Yeah, I crashed in the middle of the duty. I'm pretty sure the whole thing canceled. Elia, good morning. I already have the capybara pup, so you should keep that. I don't have the Shinryu already though. Thank you very, very much. I appreciate it. New toy. It was clickbait. I did indeed. I clickbaited you guys. Went to sleep for last quest. Thought I missed a cutscene. Now you're fine. My whole PC crashed, and I decided not to turn it back on. Alright. It's 5:15. We've stalled for 15 minutes to let people get into the stream. Anyone who's not here by now, you know, isn't a real fan. I think we can start playing. Would you guys agree? Yeah, we already talked about this. We're getting on the airship, several cutscenes, and go. Hey Vestsuna, good morning. Skipping, it doesn't count as skipping if I've already seen it, of course.
My fellow Scions,
yeah.
As I am sure you will have heard, we can expect no help from Charlian, nor are we any closer to discerning the Telophoroid's grand design.
Hey Connie, good morning. Good morning, Allegan. Overheating PC fix? I mean, I hope so.
And now, our adversary moves against us in unprecedented numbers, compelling us to answer in kind. The outlook, in short, is bleak. Yet though our foes are many, and we but few, we may still tip the balance in Eorzea's favor.
Of course. We will do what we always do. Deal with the ones our allies can't. A less than daunting prospect, judging by your expression. Could it be that you've dispelled your lingering doubts, Alphino?
Oh, I doubt I ever will. But as my friends have kindly reminded me, I have come this far, and that must count for something.
Indeed.
Gods be good, Alphino. That's what we've been trying to tell you all along.
For one so bright, you can be remarkably dim at times. There is such a thing as overthinking, you know.
Might I suggest that we continue this conversation after the battle? It would appear that Telophoroi have already arrived.
I'll do what I can to cure the Tempered, but they'll have to be incapacitated first.
Have care, my friends, for none can say wherefore our foe did choose this fateful field to be our battleground. Whatever may transpire, pray grant him not the pleasure of deterring you.
Nods all around. Careful, guys. It might be a trap. No matter what, keep going. That was Urianger in English. Alright. I remember the first part, we fought some stuff, and then the second part, we were fighting with Alice, and then we were about to feed her ether in order to cure the Tempered. Let us begin.
Prepare yourself!
Let's give it our all!
Hold fast.
He was providing the ether, yeah, it was too big of a drain. EC needed a break from the trauma. I'll go west. Robin, Alphino, come with me. Simeon, shall we? You know, this isn't really west. In fact, this is like almost opposite west. Sound spread across the field. Alisai and Graha take the fight to the Telophoroi. Let's go.
Allow me.
Certainly. dead, not a stall. Yeah. I'm so diabolical that I stopped a duty in the middle in order to stall. Those are the links I'll go to. That way I could officially and effectively bait you all into watching yesterday by saying trailer, and then get out of it and have a second day with trailer in my title. And then capitalize on that bait by immediately swapping to World of Warcraft for the next 8 hours. Dreamer is Machiavellian. Yasmin strat. That strat sucks. That strat's terrible. It might be, you can make a decent argument that it's a strategy that would have been worthwhile if I were then going to play Final Fantasy. But the fact that I'm playing 3 hours of Final Fantasy and then swapping to WoW, that's not so good. Raw health. His health is really low. I thought he was supposed to heal himself. Earned a moment's respite. Alright guys, pray for me. This is the moment in which my PC crashed yesterday. Reach over, feel my PC. Alright, it doesn't feel too cold, too warm. This is what happened. I went to a loading screen and then it froze and crashed on the loading screen. New content! Oh my god. Hello, friend Daniel. Moshi Moshi. Did you see that? The glyph? Yes. How worried should we be? Today is WoW day. Normally, I would have done WoW all day today and just slept in. Since it's so much WoW, I see like no point in doing Final Fantasy. Except that because of yesterday's crash, I need to finish this morning, so I got up early. Listen well. Judge for yourself. I can see ethereal currents, but I had not thoroughly examined those that flow through the heart of Cardinal. And now that I'm here, things have become clear. The flats conceal an etheric confluence like to the pillars of Azim Step, but greater in scale. Far greater. The glyphs that Fandaniel has conjured reach into its very midst, and I believe I know their purpose. Should the lunar primals destroy them, it would spark a chain reaction with potential to obliterate the confluence entirely. The resultant disruption to the flow of ether would sow chaos among the elements, prompting earthquakes, floods, and tempests large enough to lay waste to the realm. Nod. That he would go so far comes as little surprise. We must protect the confluence at all costs. Defeat Lunar Odin and defend the ethereal confluence. I'm Urianger. I have Malefic. A weird card combo. What the fuck? Benefic, Helios, and Bubble. Alright. We're smiting. Oh, we need to help our friend.
I shall protect thee.
Oh, that's a slow cast. Turns out I shall not protect thee. Can I heal the confluence?
My turn.
May the 12 guide you.
Oh, Bancard, what the fuck? Best brace ourselves. Yo, I need some mana.
Away with you!
The best defense is a good defense!
That is pretty fucking true. I can't argue with that. Bancard, you're kind of hitting my friend. Ultimate Santuskin. Can't allow that. Alright. We did that, we did that. Meanwhile, Graha T and Alice prepare to lock swords with Luna Ravana. Oh shit, let's go. I'm Graha. What the heck does Graha play? He's got a staff. Is he a black mage? Fire, 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 foul. Blizzard to get mana back. Thunder to dot. Heal. Heal. Break! What the fuck? Alright, so I can heal the thing. And I can heal all of us. Alright, we dot. And then I spam 1 until I can't. And then I push 2. Do I kill him?
I have you now.
Whoa! Fuckity. Fuck. And I lost. What? What am I supposed to do? Use break. Oh. Resume for midway. Use break to defend against the spirits. Man, my chat window is like it's pixel big. How am I supposed to know that? Supposed to read? Then they should put the text somewhere readable. Very easy. I didn't click easy. It's in the middle. It's up here. I don't read up there. I want to be able to move that text box. I've talked about it before. Make the box bigger. I can't. That box isn't changeable. Alright. We gotta use break for the parries. Got me as well. I mean, yeah, I know that I'm not the only one who finds it very unfortunate that you're not allowed to move or change that box. It is not in a place where I usually look. I read that part, and then I started attacking them. You guys broken?
I have you now.
Flying. Eat their nails. And these cast times are so long. Him? Nope, don't see him. Anyone or is that just me? Stupid black mage. Get him, Alice. Man, thank God for checkpoints, though, right? Alright. Same moment you stand with Alphino and Estinian to fight Lunar Ifrit. Am I mean? I would love to be mean. Although I can't really do much to defend the confluence. Alright, it's double Dragoon and 2 Dragoons and also Alfie. Let's go!
You're finished!
Fight on!
A little healing then, my friend. A little healing. Good work. Oh shit, they're gonna do their charge. Hog. Yeah, I got hit. Alfie and Estinian are better than I am. I can't mock Alfie anymore. That's 2. Got to kill them all. Roar, Nidhogg.
I have you now.
Holy shit, he's stardivering everything. Pretty sick. Alphino, your health.
Be outdone!
Another one down. Nods.
And thus another plan went up in smoke. I am beginning to see why Lord Xenos thinks so highly of you. Not that this changes anything, you understand. You have merely earned yourself a stay of execution.
Did we win?
Glory be to Garlemore.
Thank you, Fluffy Flo. Appreciate the sub.
How fair the tempered.
That's exactly how you feel after benediction fails to actually land on someone when you cast it and they died before the heal goes through its travel time.
We've treated as many as we can,
We've all been there.
but some were beyond help.
Hey, Spaced Out. My PC crashed yesterday. Wasn't the VOD. That's why we're redoing it. Because I have to.
Do not hang your head so, brave scions. Though not all of our captured brethren could be saved, we are grateful for those whose minds have been restored.
That is really cool.
You could do no more, and that is enough. So please hold your heads high.
Should have been quicker, but I'll do better next time. Thank you for your kind words. They mean a lot.
A victory at great cost, but a victory nonetheless. We must stay strong and press on. Isn't that right?
It's true. Victories may be hollow. This wasn't hollow.
That
We
we
had
will.
to do this. We saved as many of the captured as we could. We cured their tempering. We destroyed the lunar primals. It's not a hollow victory. Music. I love this music. moon is glowing. Why are we looking at the moon? Because it's being weird. That's what we do when someone's being weird. Stare. There it is. We did it. We did it. This was an extraordinary expansion. Shadowbringers was amazing. Some ups, some downs, some so soul-crushingly, heart-shatteringly depressings, and then some more ups. Smidge of despair. Yep. The most despair I have felt so far in this game. Orlit was harder than the Bloody Banquet, harder than Harshfon's death, harder than Lord Edmund's grief, harder than Ysael's sacrifice. Lord. Harder than Menphilia. Edmund's grief destroyed you. Edmund's grief was the first time I cried in this game. But not the last. Would you be keen on doing Menphilia Yellow Quest? Yeah, after MSQ is over. Trailer. Katie, I haven't watched the trailer yet. I'm gonna listen to the song and then we'll cancel this cutscene and see if there's a quest turn-in or something. And then I think I'm supposed to read some short stories. But someone would need to link them to me unless I already did. Unless Leaf already did. Nope. Where are my mods? Oh, there they are. Through his eyes and before our curtain falls. Alright. So I'm supposed to read those 2 short stories after I finish this questline. And then we'll watch the video. One of us. Thank you, Katie. This expansion was insanely good. It was so good. It's hard to even really grasp how big it was in scope, too. There were so many storylines within the greater story. Menphilia's story and Reen's story, Ardbert's, Emmet Selk's, Lidibus. Were high points. High points were Ardbert's torment and redemption, Emmet Selk's guilt and humanity, destroying his resolve to pursue his eons-old agenda. That's a beautiful story. His hunger for our approval. Emmet Selk's storyline was excellent. The saving of Halric. good was that? We launched the expansion with a euthanasia clinic. We buy him a nectarine to be used as a poison to mercifully kill him before he turns, and yet we save him by the end. Zeto's closure. You still want to give it to him? They haven't poisoned it. I want him to have his fucking nectarine. Nectarines are his favorite food. So naturally, we only give him one when it's time for him to die. Come on, give the kid a nectarine. The cons? I think that Elidibus's storyline was a little bit rushed, and I also believe that the lore underpinnings of his power-up were a little bit incoherent. Kind of just a, we're in a hurry, accept this. And I will not be responding to any argumentation on this point, so you may as well not bother. That said, his actual story itself was very good, and the trial was extraordinary. The whole here's how he powers up, I didn't like, but I did enjoy him as a reflection and different facet of Emmett Selk's own agonies, and the trial was really, really good. As a storytelling mechanism and as a fight, the trial was excellent. I was stun-locked in the middle of that trial, in fact. Thoughts on Emmett Selk being back in the fight? I still don't really know what's happening, and you guys shouldn't say anything. My current theory, like I said a couple of days ago, is that that was a program, that was part of the program that Emmett Selk, that was handed to us by the Greek guy, who itself was part of a program that Emmett Selk created. So I think that that was programmed in order to help us end Elidibus's torment. I partially agree with you, Stola. Guys, I don't remember his name. It's Greek. Hythlodaeus. Congratulations. Yes, it's Hythlodaeus. Greek guy works just as well. You know exactly what I mean. Emmett asked me to remember. Emmett asked me to remember his people and their sacrifice. And I do remember that. Also, Emmett was a psychopathic genocidal maniac. So, while I will indeed remember, it's not really because Emmett told me to. Emmett was a tortured soul, and he spent eons working toward evil ends, and in the end, the humanity of the Warrior of Light and the humanity of his friends tormented Emmett, racked him with guilt, compelled him to non-stop try to justify and explain himself to these supposedly inferior beings, seeking in effect their approval and consent to his goals. And his empathizing and seeing of himself and his people in us led to him essentially almost conceding defeat, letting us, trying to constantly explain everything to us, justify himself to us, beg us to understand. What are your impressions of Ben Daniel? I don't really have any impression other than that he's super crazy. It was tempered by Zodiac. We didn't have a choice. I don't believe that. Sure, he's tempered, whatever that means. But tempering means different things to different people. And in different scenarios. I don't think he had to pursue genocide. I think to the extent he had to because it had been his goal for eons. And he wasn't able to let go of that goal of seeing his friends and retrieving his friends, and then ran into the brick wall of seeing himself and seeing his people in us and feeling guilt. Think he had a moral duty to his people to save them? I disagree. His people voluntarily sacrificed themselves to save the rest and the world. We saw a reflection of Emmett in several other storylines. It was all over the place. It was in Ardbert, it was in Thancred. The same story was told from different POVs and with slight variations to be a meta reflection on what sacrifice means and how to respond to it. And the story being told, the underlying themes, or even the meta themes, are that sacrifice ought to be respected. Thancred ultimately respected Minfilia's sacrifice, and sacrificed to it essentially his own sacrifice of the desire to bring her back in order to allow Reen to live. And the same is also true of several other of these storylines, including Ardbert's. Emmett was unable to accept the sacrifices of his people, and thereby disrespected it. Didn't understand it. And undercut it. These are all different facets of the same story, of the same theme, and all of them are human. All of them are understandable. But he had no duty to his people to try to resurrect them. By working toward that goal, he disrespected their sacrifice and tried to undercut it. I liked Emmett. I thought Emmett was a phenomenal character. An excellent character. But Robin, as Robin, of course I have to kill him. He wants to kill everyone. If you had a chance to bring back your lost loved ones, wouldn't you do it? Of course I can't answer that question. But if I had the option of bringing back my loved ones by killing everyone else, I believe that killing everyone else to do it is the wrong choice, particularly when my loved ones deliberately sacrifice themselves for the saving of everyone else. I can't know what I'll do. No one can in that situation. But we know what's right. We know what's right. Just like it was correct for Thancred to honor Minfilia's sacrifice by letting her go that Reen might live, so it was the same thing for Emmett. The correct thing to do, the right thing to do, was to honor his people's sacrifice that they made that others might live as well. And I've talked about this probably for like 3 or 4 hours total, saying the same thing over and over again. I'm not going to talk about it too much more. Change your opinion on Hydaelyn? I learned more about Hydaelyn, but I'm not sure I ever really had much of an opinion about Hydaelyn. Hydaelyn is just kind of this enigmatic figure in the background. It's never ending. I know. And that's okay. I don't insist that everyone agree with me, and you guys should also not insist that I agree with you. Accept that this is my opinion. Be aware that I have expressed it consistently and thoroughly and for hours on end ever since the Emmett storyline. If you want more of it, you can go back and watch the key VODs. You know exactly where they are after we kill Emmett, stuff like that. You can see it. And you can argue with past me all you want, but I'm not going to convince you. You're not going to convince me, and that's okay. The world is not harmed by our disagreeing. In no way is anything diminished. the thing you're missing? You are wrong. I need you to understand. I mean, if it comforts you to think that the only reason I disagree with you is by some fundamental misunderstanding, I don't mind you having that delusion. Whatever helps you sleep at night. But you will have a healthier relationship with the world if you come to understand that someone can disagree with you without being delusional. It's a cop-out to believe that anyone who disagrees with you, whether it be about a game or politics or a moral issue, it's a cop-out to believe that anyone disagreeing with you does so because of some fundamental misunderstanding of the fact or fundamental inability to reason. It's a refusal to engage in dialogue. What do you think about... I lost the chat. Thank you so much for all of the subs. Let me do a little bit of callings out. We'll talk a little bit more and then I'll do short stories. That's all on Emmett. We're done with Emmett. I've talked about Emmett for hours and hours and hours. And it's an extraordinary topic, and it's an extraordinary character, and it's an extraordinary story, but I've done it for hours. Stop Tech, thank you very much for the sub. Nirai, thank you for the 10 gifted subs. I really appreciate it. Extra Code with the 2-month resub. I'm so gratified to see the resubs from people who started when I started this journey. It means they're enjoying the stream, and that means a lot to me. Thank you. Bonfi Flo and King Nothing, thank you so much for these subs as well. And Basilius, thank you for the 2 months. Thanks everyone, I'm glad you're enjoying the stream. Stop saying one guy. That's actually true. The people saying one guy are actually the one guy. I wonder if you realize that. I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt and say that the people who say one guy know that they're the one guy, and they're doing it to meta me. Right? They're doing it to meta me. But one guying makes me argue about something that's actually completely irrelevant, instead of talking to people about the interesting story, which I enjoy. It's the fucking meta guy. The one guy is the one guy. Katie, thank you so much for the 5 gifted subs. It's very generous. I really appreciate it. And Azur, thank you as well. Thank you very much. Stop Teching for the sub as well. I'm glad you guys are enjoying the stream. What do you think of the sundering? It's interesting, right? So we learned this expansion that Hydaelyn was summoned by a faction of Emmett's people who disagreed with a faction of Emmett's people that planned to sacrifice the life that had been saved and created in order to resurrect their sacrificed friends. So a faction summoned Hydaelyn to defeat Zodiark to prevent the genocide. And Hydaelyn's power is diluting her enemy, breaking him into pieces, and Hydaelyn caused the Sundering, which the Ascians see as a new and terrible tragedy. Interesting. We've learned some things about it. Where's the story headed in your brain? So after Stormblood, I was convinced that in Shadowbringers we were going to be heading into the Empire to deal with the issues arisen there by the existence of Xenos and multiple Ascians at the heart of the Empire. And we all know how that turned out. So I would say that, you know, given that the situation in the Empire is almost identical to what it was at the end of Stormblood, with a little bit more elucidation, a little bit more progress in the story, I don't know a flying fuck about what's going to happen in Endwalkers. After dealing with Frank, it seems that Krile wants us to all go to Sharlayan, so I guess we'll go to Sharlayan. We still have the Empire to deal with, we have Vandaniel to deal with, and who knows what's going to come out of Left Field to actually be the main story, because I don't know. Did we finish Whirlit? We did finish Whirlit. Calls him Frank? Yeah, his name is Frank. Fuckface Frank. Predictions, Friendwalker? I don't know, right? The game is too good at subverting my expectations. I just don't know. Papa Frank? He's not a father because he has no children. You can't be a father if you have no children. You're also not a father if you'll disown your children like that. So he's just, I refuse to share. It sounds so cheesy, but it's true. I refuse to share the word father with Frank. He's just an asshole. That's all he is. Don't respect him or honor him by calling him a dad. He's not one. Alfie and Alex, they are not your kids. No, they are not my kids. That's true. If they were truly children and needed care, Robin would take care of them. But they are independent and free agents with their own decision making about their future. They need a friend in Robin more than they need a father. They're now your kids? To the extent that they need care, yes, but I believe in their independence and freedom. Dad Cred will take care of them. To the extent they need a dad, we've got Uranger, we've got Thancred, we've got Robin. They'll be cared for. Three and a half men? Wait, which one's the half? Don't forget Estinian. Estinian is like an uncle to Alfie specifically. Imagine being sad at Orlet and then laughing at Estinian talking to Alice. I know the emotional roller coaster that I got yoinked through yesterday. I was a little bit giddy and maybe borderline hysterical after Warlit, and the laughter came easily. What's your opinion on the Tribal Alliance? I was gratified to see growth in the approach of the Eorzean city-states with regard to their indigenous population. We early in ARR, not only us, but also Stola was bravely pointing out, hey guys, the primal problem is your problem. You lied to the kobolds and steal their land, and then you have the temerity to be surprised that they defend themselves with whatever weapons they can get, and then you go fight them, kill them, and slay their primals, and are surprised when they do it again. It is your fault. And they have learned and grown from that, and we have improved relations. And I was also gratified to see that our relations with each of these tribes depends partially on the history and problem resolution we've had with them. The kobolds are still filled with distrust, you know, whereas the Amalja are grateful for us having gone to war for them and saved them, or helped them at least. Thanks for streaming. Of course, Chewable. I'm glad you guys are enjoying it. We have not watched the trailer. Once I'm done, I always use the credits as a time to talk with chat and reflect and kind of relax a little bit in my thoughts. And once that's done, I'll skip whatever remains of the credit. We'll finish up this questline. We'll read the 2 short stories I've been told to read as the next step, and then we will watch the trailer. Decompress indeed. Kobolds needed liberation. Man, I really wanted their high priest to keep the gun. You gave it to me. It's mine now. Did you like the piloting robot part of Warlit? I thought that was really cool. It was a fairly cool vehicle. Yeah, I thought it was neat. I almost wiped, but I didn't. Do you have a theory about the towers? No. The towers are somehow mind-controlling people into supporting Garlemald. And then within them, they were essentially a copy of Allegan technology, using a primal's supporters, maintaining them in a form of indefinite imprisonment and stasis, to power primals, exactly as we saw in Coils with Bahamut and his children. So to that extent, it seems like it's essentially directly copied from Allegan technology and Allegan methods, and makes me, of course, suspect that the Ascians are behind it, as we saw Grand Daniel talking about. But that's all I know. AFP team's working on Final Fantasy 16. Are you in? I don't know who that is. I assume you're implying that it's someone who worked on this. And this is the only Final Fantasy game I've played, but it's so extraordinarily good that I would be an idiot to not be willing to try the games from the same studio. And after I'm done with all things Final Fantasy 14, MSQ, side stories, jobs, the new Savage Tier, then I will be playing more Final Fantasy games. Yes. You play Endwalker Trials and Dungeons on your account? Yes, I did. I played Endwalker, and I did the Trials once, way back when, before the Savage Tier. I think Scripe and Roger and us all did the 2 extremes blind, kind of as warm-up for the Savage. I don't remember them very well. One of them was on a platform, and it rotated, and there were stars in the sky that made patterns that did stuff. I have no idea what we were fighting on that platform or why. And then there was another one that was on a circle, and it felt... we hid behind pillars or something? I have no idea who we were fighting or why. The dungeons I've done lots of times to farm tomes, but again, I don't know what they are or why. And I remember nothing from leveling, except the only memory I have is once I had to stop watching Netflix and actually like run around a little bit to figure out where I was going, because I was like lost on the moon. I couldn't figure out how to get to a place that I was supposed to get to. Because the way I leveled was the same way I leveled in Shadowbringers, which was, you know, glance over, run toward the thing while I watch Netflix, spam click escape, spam click spacebar, and then run back. I have no idea what happened. Prepared for Endwalker? I mean, I don't really know what that means. But thank you. Alright. Let's go do the post-credit stuff. And then we'll do the short stories. And then we'll watch the trailer. I have an hour and 45 minutes. I trust you all enjoyed a comfortable flight aboard the pride of the Ishgardian fleet. Lest you worry, the Bonanza has been towed to a nearby location to be retrieved at your convenience. You've thought of everything, Lord Imeric. And may I say how much I appreciated the hospitality you afforded us on the way home. Thanks, Kalis. Appreciate the sub. Think nothing of it. Our destination lay in the same direction, and it afforded me the perfect opportunity to learn how my errant friend has been since last he took his leave. It would seem you finally found a place to settle down. I merely grew weary of wandering the far east. I'm not actually committing, you understand. I'm just here because I'm here at the moment. I may not stay. Returning to more serious matters, while the Telophoroi have been driven from Cardano, it's likely that the bulk of their forces yet remain. On the evidence of the Grand Company of Eorzea's first joint military operation, however, I'm confident we have the potential to meet such threats head-on, even without the aid of you and yours. As such, while our forces keep the Telophoroi at bay, I ask that you apply your talents to the task of neutralizing the tower. A sensible division of labor. While the towers remain, so too will the threat of the lunar primal. Given our expertise in the field of etherology, we are better qualified to find the solution. That we are, especially should it happen to lie beyond the Alliance's dominion. There is a time and a place for formal investigations, of course, but certain secrets are wont to hide where only enterprising individuals may venture. I couldn't agree more. There are none better suited to this task, nor any upon whom I would rather rely. On behalf of the Alliance, I thank you. We look forward to receiving any information you are able to uncover. And with that, I must take my leave. Should you have need of assistance, pray do not hesitate to ask. Fare you well, my friends. I confess I'd hoped to be able to study the towers more closely, vital as they plainly are to the Telophroi plans. If we can discern their ultimate function, we would be one step closer to understanding our enemy's grand scheme. If we succeed in neutralizing them, of course, it's all but certain that the Telophroi will mount an all-out invasion. And then it'll begin. The one who awaits at the heart of the chaos will come for us. For you. Yet in the end, our true nemesis may be the calamity to end all calamities. The final days themselves. Yes, all right, Alphino. We need a plan, not portents. As Thencred so eloquently pointed out, we are in a position to seek information from all manner of places, not least Sharlayan. According to Kryl, the Forum may have been more secretive than ever of late. While this may be related to the appearance of the Telophroi, it remains a matter of speculation. And one thing is clear. The Forum is determined to keep us from discovering the truth. Frank's performance at the Lotus Stand was enough to convince me of that. Yep, I agree. I can't think of a better place to look for answers than Sharlayan. They know a lot of stuff. I care not where we go. Here or there, my lance will be ready. What about you, Robin? Might you be persuaded to join us? Only after I do, she says. If he and his friends in the Forum think we'll leave them alone if they ignore us, they're in for a shock. It appears we are in agreement. We have but to wait for Kryl to secure the necessary permissions. In the meantime, there's a matter I would investigate. Does it involve tall structures? Nod. By strange coincidence, it does. At present, I have only a creeping suspicion, but with your help, I will soon find out whether my fears are warranted. You have learned the emote, Shush. Meanwhile, in the Garlean capital. Whoa. Oh, he chose a weapon to become a Reaper? That's pretty cool, actually.
Those Eorzeans certainly are a stubborn bunch, though I suppose you knew that already. My plan to redirect the ether from Cartano came to a rather less than satisfactory conclusion. It was, in many respects, an abject failure.
You sound so happy about that.
Which does, of course, raise the question of where we are going to procure the requisite amount. The obvious solution would be to draw on resources a little closer to home, though that would require our dreamer to dream a trifle more deeply.
So be it. The dreamer will not complain.
Then let us begin the preparations at once. With the gateway of the gods complete, all that remains is to gather the necessary ether, and our prize shall be within reach. The time has come to fulfill your heart's desire, my desire! To relieve those wretched creatures of their meaningless existence!
He's so generous.
While I await you, I shall drink a sea of souls and gorge myself upon the darkened moon. Then you shall come to me, all roiling rage and rancor. And the stars shall bear witness to our final contest.
Questionable pregame.
As I thought, the ethereal currents have been disturbed here too.
It was the same in Thanalan. Make that every location we surveyed.
And the strength of each current has diminished dramatically, far more than could be attributed to a natural occurrence.
What tidings bringest thou from Dravania?
We took a number of readings, and noticed that the closer we were to the tower, the lower the etheric density became. In short,
the towers are drawing upon the land's ether, which would explain how they were able to carry out the summonings.
They didn't get enough. For...
Our allies must be informed of this. We should return to the Rising Stones and have Tataru relay our findings to them.
Hear me. Hear me. Hear me. Hear me. Darkness comes, and with it, the end. The fate of the star is in your hands.
Everything all right back there?
Damn. All right. Man, I really like these post-credit introduction to some of the ideas in the next expansion. Multiple cliffhangers, not just one, multiple. Alright, trailer time. I think that I'm supposed to do Emmett Silk's short stories instead. We have to edge some more, guys. We have to edge before the trailer a little bit more. Just a little bit more. Let's see. 2 short stories. And they are pretty short. Let me put it on the stream for you, and then I'll read them to you. How does that sound? Snuggle up in your blankies, and I'll read you kids a story. How does that sound? I used to read my daughter's stories all the time until they got too old for it. Through his eyes. In a time long forgotten, men and gods were one and the same. And upon the star that was their home, men ruled supreme over the corporeal world, within and without which existed an ethereal realm. Throughout the ages, this realm has been called many names, but in the beginning, it was known as the Underworld, the place to which departed souls returned. As water flows to the sea and rises to the sky before raining upon the land once more, the Underworld was a fundamental part of the circle of life. And for this reason, it was regarded at once with familiarity and reverence by men who, despite their godlike powers, could not claim dominion over it. Wise though they were, they could catch only fleeting glimpses of the realm, channel but a sliver of its power, and do naught to control its ceaseless flow. However, among those who abided in that age, there were a chosen few who possessed an affinity with the underworld, and among their number, one stood tall. Another idyllic evening had descended upon Amarat. Citizens strolled carelessly along the streets of the gleaming capital, identical black-robed figures bathed in gentle torchlight. Some would while the night away in agreeable company, others retire early to their beds. The illumination served equally well for both. But he had chosen to spend the time alone at a park, reclining upon the manicured lawn. The cowl of his robe had fallen back to reveal locks of white hair which framed the unique red mask covering the upper half of his face, the sole item among his apparel that was his and his alone. To see him lazing there, most would have assumed he was simply gazing up at the stars, or perhaps the glittering towers that seemed to reach for them. The sights that were reflected in his eyes, however, were a far cry from any seen by most men. What he beheld was the ether that comprised all things, radiating life. From the depths of the land to the heights of the firmament, its lights shone bright. Here and there, lives that had served their purpose drifted upon the current before suddenly plunging down unto the underworld. That he could behold these wonders was not a wonder in itself. Many were blessed with the sight. Yet few indeed were as strong in the gift as him. As a man focuses his gaze upon the object of his interest, he needed but to direct his attention toward the ether to behold all the lives born upon the currents. So acute was his vision, he could make out not only the soul, the heart of life, but also discern subtle differences in the hue of each, telling individual lives apart. And by virtue of this transcendent skill, he had often been likened to a denizen of the underworld. For a while he continued gazing up at the sky, watching the dance of ether alone with his thoughts, until the soft rustling of grass announced the approach of another. Noticing this, he shut his eyes tight, as if to will away the din. But the steps only grew nearer, growing louder and louder, before finally becoming a voice overhead. I heard the tidings. Congratulations, Hades, or should I say, the Honorable Emmett Selk of the Convocation of 14. If I pretend not to notice, perhaps he'll leave me in peace, he thought, without much hope. And as expected, but no less to his disappointment, the owner of the voice did not make to leave. Resigned, he grudgingly rolled over and heaved himself to his feet. Having repositioned his cowl, he addressed the grinning visitor with unconcealed displeasure. There is naught to congratulate. I merely filled a void, one which I would remind you only existed because you refused the honor. Come now, and went to the candidate best suited to the office. You find practical use for that which you see, while I enjoy the scene for its own sake. And what does that say about your suitability for your own office? Perhaps I shall raise the subject at the Hall of Rhetoric. As he said these words, he glared daggers through his mask with the threat, idle, as they both knew, served only to elicit a snort of amusement from the chief of the Bureau of the Architect, his close friend, Hythlodius. Attired in a black robe and a white mask, the man looked entirely unremarkable. Yet like Hades, he was eminently gifted in the ability to behold the underworld. As a matter of fact, were it purely a question of vision, his was the keener of the two. Precious little escaped his eyes, which could discern essence and appearance as plainly as night and day. This made him amply qualified for the highest office of the Bureau of the Architect, the institution which oversaw the creation of concepts. And incurably smug. Irked by Hythlodius' unshakable good cheer, he snapped, "Was there something else?" and immediately regretted it when he saw the man's grin broaden. As a matter of fact, yes. Have you informed a certain someone of your appointment? Hardly necessary. The memorandum will see to it, if the gossips in the street haven't already. News pertaining to the 14 is wont to spread quickly. Were you to ask my opinion, I would tell you such a momentous message warrants a personal delivery. Shall I ascertain our friend's whereabouts? It will take but a moment. I didn't ask for your opinion, nor less your help. I understand you have pressing tasks and would not keep you from them. For the first time since Hythlodius arrived, the grin faded from his lips, the tilt of the man's head, all but asking how Hades could have known. And though he was certain he would regret answering the unspoken question, in the end he found himself yielding to the interminable silence. With a sigh, he continued. A short while ago, you received a visitor from the words of La Habrea. This invariably means you've been tasked with an inspection of considerable import and, by rights, should not have time to spend in idleness. That you should seek me out at such a juncture suggests you have a consultation or, the mind boggles, a request. For a moment, Hythlodius said nothing, as if mulling over the words. Then his shoulders began to shake with laughter. You wound me, old friend. I merely chanced to notice you lying here and wished to offer my congratulations. As he continued, his voice took on an impish tone. And I dare say, given your new responsibilities, you've even less time than me to spend in idleness. Of course, you are never one to rouse yourself, save when you deemed a matter worthy of your attention. Though said in jest, the uninvited observation did not improve his mood. You have offered your congratulations, he said testily. If there's naught else, I shall be on my way. Seeing him turn to leave, Hythlodaeus hastily changed his tone. Wait, as you say, I have a consultation for you and a request. Will you not hear me out, most eminent Emitselk? An immortal bird? Hades repeated, as they made their way through the restricted area of the Bureau of the Architect. To be precise, it is not a living being, but magic woven in the likeness of a bird, one possessed of puissant healing powers, and as befits a masterwork of the words of La Habrea, it is a thing of beauty. I don't doubt it. So what then is the problem? As I said, it is not a living being. The concept proposed was a magic in avian guise. With this in mind, Hythlodaeus stretched out a hand to the enormous gate that stood before them. Soundlessly, the towering doors swung open, and Hades found himself wincing at the ear-rending cry that emanated from within. Furrowing his brow, he stepped across the threshold to be greeted with the sight of a magnificent bird, its plumes fairly afire, circling high in the vaulted hall. Having marked the creature's undeniable beauty, it took him but another moment to identify the problem. An unmistakable light shining in its heart. His breath caught in his throat. A soul. How? Through their mastery of creation magics, men could weave anything into existence. Anything they could imagine, they could bring forth. Anything, that is, except a soul. As Hades well knew, souls spontaneously manifested within creatures that were born in accordance with the laws of nature. It was a gift from the star itself, long held to be impossible to recreate. No artificial being, no matter how subtly sculpted in the image of nature, could come to possess a soul. Such creations occupied a separate classification known as arcane entities. There was an accident, Hythlodaeus began. During the concept's examination, a drifting soul merged with it. A soul burdened with regret, judging by the being's behavior. It rages against the pull of the underworld. As he listened, Hades kept his gaze fixed on the creature, which flew about in a frenzy. No sooner would it dash itself against the wall in an explosion of broken feathers than it would heal itself and repeat the grisly feat. This self-destructive dance unfolded again and again, with the creature occasionally giving vent to its overflowing magical reserves, or fury, as it seemed to him, as fiery breath. Witnessing this excruciating display, his thoughts poured forth unbidden from his lips. Consumed by the fear of death, it thrashes blindly about. It will know only pain and suffering, and inflict the same upon others. A pitiful existence. Such moving empathy, it's as if you wore the feathers yourself. He waved a dismissive hand. Yes, but what do you intend to do with it? Masterwork or no, we cannot well leave it as it is. There, Hythlodaeus turned to face him, that irritating smile having returned, and again he knew a pang of regret. As it is immortal, after a fashion, we here have not the ability to return it to the underworld. Our efforts would only cause it pain. Nay, we require the services of a powerful mage, and I know of none more powerful than you. Once more, he found himself glaring daggers at his friend, whose grin had become broader than ever. But rather than give him the satisfaction of a complaint, he decided that he would make a debt of it. Without another word, he focused his mind, and as he did, his silhouette wavered and danced. Then all of a sudden, like a shadow lengthening, his form began to swell. Through the thrum of gathering ether, he heard Hythlodaeus remark, "Never ceases to impress me." He knew well what his friend beheld, the unbridled power of the underworld pouring forth into his being. In such moments, he felt as if he was one with its flow. Though mages were plentiful, not even among the rest of the 14 could one find another capable of wielding such power. Ere long, his transformation was complete, and Hythlodaeus was left to crane his neck up at him. "Indeed, there is no better candidate. Allow me to congratulate you again, Salk." He let out a quiet breath, a sigh mingled with laughter. Then he faced the bird and set about his task. "Your Radiance! Your Radiance!" The voice rumbled from a distance, impatient and insistent. Drowsily, he opened his eyes, and through the haze of sleep, inadvertently focused upon the flow of ether, the habit of eons. Unlike eons ago, however, there was no brilliant shine to greet his sight, but a wan, sickly glow. A guttering candle, where once a signal flame blazed. His face reflexively contorted in disgust. Gathering his scattered thoughts, he finally remembered where he was. Dozed off in the chair again. Ah, the joys of old age. Your Radiance, it is the appointed hour. The voice rumbled from right before him. He cast a blear gaze toward the sound to see a young man, tall and strapping and golden-haired, regarding him anxiously. Though he was still well shy of his 20th name day, the crease which adored his forehead added years to his grandson's appearance. This body's grandson, he corrected himself. Then he remembered the boy, Varys, had been eager to report on his recent suppression of unrest in some forsaken province or other. Scarcely a matter warranting a formal audience, let alone rousing for. Perhaps the boy had finally scraped together the courage to crow about his accomplishments. Perhaps he was put up to it by ambitious courtiers. Regardless, it was naught but the feeble plodding of malformed creatures. Wearily, he hauled himself to his feet and shuffled past the youth towards the door. He had barely taken half a dozen steps, however, when Varys found his tongue. "What is it about me that displeases you so?" He stopped at the unexpected address. Casting a glance over his shoulder, he saw the boy wearing an expression of pure anguish, and in that moment, he looked every bit as young as he was. To let this question spill forth his frustration toward his grandsire must be great indeed. After a moment's pause, he replied under his breath, "Your body." "What?" The boy's face was a picture of confusion, but he offered him not a word more, turning away and slowly taking his leave of the room. As he made his way to the audience chamber, a self-deprecating smile rose to his lips. Though Garleans are known for their large frames, the body he wore was by no means exceptional in that regard, nor was that of the woman he took for his wife. Yet their firstborn son was a prodigiously tall and robust specimen, unprecedented even among his kind. As the boy grew, his physique was held in awe and admiration by all, though to him it was a source of great vexation. In the end, they were all just malformed creatures, feeble, frail, and foolish, thrashing blindly about in their fleeting, fragmented lives, repeating the same mistakes over and over again. Never could they replace his brethren. Yet in spite of himself, when he cradled the newborn in his arms and stroked that downy hair, he could not help but hope. For what, he could not be certain, but he hoped nonetheless. It made little difference in the end, for his son had succumbed to some absurd illness and returned to the underworld long before his time. Not without leaving behind a legacy, however, a living, breathing, and ever-present reminder of that momentary lapse. At length, his frail body brought him to his destination. He paused before the door, took a deep breath, and shut his eyes tight, as if to will away the din. Story number 1. What do you guys think? Body shaming, though. Man, the Empire really is evil. Story of your reading? Whichever, I guess. I don't care. Old as Jeeth, yeah. The aches and pains after being abruptly awoken from well-deserved rest. Love the reading. Thank you. Got a job as an audiobook reader? Sure. Give me one. Feel sorry for Varys. Yeah. Varys doesn't get thoroughly fleshed out in the story. He's kind of a bit character. His most interesting moment, of course, being the meeting with the Alliance. That's pretty good. Trailer time yet? Nope, we have one more short story that I was instructed to read called Ere Our Curtain Falls. I can't tell if it's a little bit shorter, maybe? Tea break? Yeah, let's take 2 minutes. Actually, I'll do it too. I'll run to the bathroom and then I'll read the short story and then we'll do the trailer. Alrighty. You guys ready? Story and then trailer. Any thoughts on the third person, the common friend? I just assumed they were talking about Elidibus. Sweet Decay, thank you very much for the sub. I appreciate it. Story time. Watch the trailer, pause, do Hildebrand, finish, do HOH, start the trailer. I mean, what I should do is, instead, I mean, if I were really gonna do this in the professional streamer method, I'll read the short story and then I'll open up the trailer on screen so you can see it and then say, well, it's time for WoW, but at some point, randomly, we'll take a break and I'm gonna play the trailer during the break and I can't tell you when it is. That would be the Omega page. Oh, and by the way, I don't know why, but my VOD has gone down and it won't be available. Really unfortunate. But you guys know I'm not gonna do that. I'm drunk on power, man. Let's read this. Let's read this story. It's called Ere Our Curtain Falls. And it should be on screen now. We recognize that image, don't we, friends? One sec. Water before reading. Emmett's Elk! My name rang out in the capital, the caller's voice resounding around the foyer. I could hardly pretend not to have heard, alas, and thus turned to face my pursuer. I had been so close to escaping. The voice belonged, as I knew it would, to a white-robed youth of small stature who was hastening across the hall. His red mask marked him out as one of the Convocation of 14, Elidibus. I fixed him with an inquiring look as he recovered his breath. When at last he spoke, it was, as ever, in earnest. Do you know of the volcano we'll be discussing at the next session? I know that we're due for some pyrotechnics. According to reports circulated among the convocation, there had been an unusual ethereal activity on an isolated volcanic isle, which is to say, an eruption was forthcoming. The island had one village upon it and a wealth of fertile farmland, all of which would soon be lost. But that was simply the way of the world. As in many such cases, our role was merely to acknowledge the fact. The islanders would do the same, and those who deemed it prudent had likely already begun to move elsewhere. While it was true that the convocation intended to discuss the matter, the conclusion would be no less inevitable. But then, why had Elidibus approached me? Well, Azem went there, and is resolved to stop the eruption. Naturally. I felt my brow furrowing and fought to suppress a scowl that threatened to pull my forehead down over my eyes. How? I eventually managed. You've heard of Ifrita, yeah? The fire spirit? La Habrea's masterwork. An impressive concept, even for him. It truly is incredible, the youth said with quiet fervency, the determined line of his lips curving into a grin. Generally, I found his ardent admiration for the rest of the council endearing, if embarrassing, but at that moment I was rather preoccupied with the implications of his suggestion. It's a wonder my brow ever recovered. Ifrita, a manifestation of concentrated fire ether. I could see what Azem was planning. Transform the volcano's ether into Ifrita, draw her away, and then destroy her elsewhere. This would safely disperse the excess. Of course, the plan required someone to procure the concept of Ifrita for Azem, but if that someone was not La Habrea himself, who else could it be? As everyone knew, concepts were stored in the Bureau of the Architect, and not all could be readily removed for personal use. The chief of the Bureau, however, could grant access as he pleased. Who else, indeed? I pictured my friend cheerfully sending Azem off to battle without a second thought. Forgetting my mask, I clapped my palm to my forehead in exasperation, which Elidibus duly took as a sign that I understood. If things get out of hand, Azem could be censured again, and here the youth paused. But I'm sure that won't happen. Not with your help. My brow resumed its descent. Very well. But are you certain it is wise for the emissary to ally himself with so divisive a figure? Oh, I'm not, he replied with practiced deftness. I'm simply giving Azem's opinion on the matter equal weight. The rest of the 14 have yet to reach a verdict, after all. On this point, I could not argue, though I wasn't particularly inclined to agree. And so I shrugged, musing inwardly that Azem was lucky the current emissary was such a kindly soul. Before we parted ways, however, I couldn't resist asking one more question. Did you happen to find out why Azem is so keen on preventing this eruption? The youth frowned, inevitably striving to recall his conversation with Azem as accurately as possible. It wouldn't do for the emissary to speak unadvisedly, after all. I waited politely. If I recall correctly, he began at length, with the air of one about to reveal a grave truth, the grapes grown on that isle are particularly delicious. Or so Azem said. They must be truly remarkable. Indeed. I couldn't bring myself to shatter his faith. I did, however, vow to treat my friends to a lecture on priorities. Blissfully ignorant of my misgivings, the young man smiled to himself again and bade me farewell. As he wandered away, I swore I heard him murmur something about Azem's ever-refreshing perspective. That's the sort of person Elidibus was. Eager to fulfill his duty, he also respected and admired the convocation more than any other. To many of us, he was as a younger brother of sorts, and when it became clear that he was the most suitable candidate for Zodiac's heart, it mattered not how strong our resolve. There was none among us who did not waver. Could there have been any greater shock, then, than our subsequent reunion? This was soon after Zodiac became the will of the star and our final days were averted. The people were divided, unable to decide what to do with the future that now stretched out before them. Many wished to trade the new life which had sprung forth to reclaim those lost in sacrifice to Zodiac. No small number, however, insisted that the fate of our world should be entrusted to those self-same, freshly minted souls. All were at our wits' ends. At once, we saw it, shimmering. It poured out of Zodiac's breast and resolved into the shape of a man. As he looked us over, mouths agape no doubt, he gave what passed for an earnest smile. Fear not. You will make the right choice, and I will see it through. How long had passed since then, I did not care to remember. In any case, my role as Solus Zos Galvus, founder of an empire, had concluded, and I was drifting. I thought I might settle down for a nice, peaceful nap in the rift for a century or two. It would serve to rinse away the cloying residue of solace whose body I had left back in the source. One should not remain perpetually in character. Not that there was that much point in me retaining my sense of self. I had thought more than once that it would be easier simply to have done with it and discard my real form altogether. Yet, given the state of the other two unsundered, some part of me was convinced that if I remained stubborn, a reason more compelling than hollow sentiment would come along eventually. Emmett Selk! My name rang out in the darkness, tugging me back to consciousness. Again? I elected to ignore the disturbance, but the voice was persistent. Once more it called, closer now. Though the voice was the same as the one which had ambushed me in the capital so long ago, it sounded as if it belonged to another person entirely. Perhaps it did. La Brea is gone, the voice said softly. I could hardly continue to feign slumber at that, so I righted myself and turned to face Elidibus. The silence that stretched between us then only affirmed the truth that had gone unspoken. For us, death was not the end, but gone. We knew this day would come. I closed my eyes, letting out a measured breath, or what passed for one in the emptiness of the rift. He was right, of course. La Habrea's boldness had only grown with the passing of ages, segueing inevitably into recklessness. Across many vessels and many worlds he blazed his trail, each mad leap forward leaving him that much more broken. Not satisfied with having brought about the seventh umbral calamity, he labored needlessly to prolong it. Was it his affinity for concepts of flame that made him so like the fire itself? From peerless Ephrita to that hopelessly immortal bird, his creations had burned bright and beautiful, as did he. He should have known what becomes of a flame once all else is ash. I opened my eyes to take in my brother's face, but the lips visible below his mask bore no expression. Would he never again show what he felt for us as he once had so readily? Were those very sentiments long lost? What is it, Emmett Selk? Nothing. I was only thinking how similar La Habrea was to his creations. His creations? I had little difficulty reading Elidibus's uncertainty this time. He couldn't remember. If his clenched fists were any indication, he shared my conclusion. Yet another part of him had been lost. Ever since the day he had reappeared to us as the embodiment of hope, time's tides had conspired to wash away what bits and pieces remained of the person he once was. Will you not look at your crystal? I asked. When Elidibus was still Elidibus and La Habrea still La Habrea, we had collected all of our memories of the 14 and committed them to crystal. Those who would take our seats one day might learn. Elidibus would, I was sure, find much within to help him remember. Yet he shook his head. I am Elidibus. So long as I remember my duty, that is enough. Aught else I would only lose again in the course of this timeless struggle, and if these memories are truly so precious, pray do not ask that I forget them twice. On this point, too, I couldn't argue, though again I could hardly agree. As he was now, however, I doubted that Elidibus could tell my shrug was affected. I make for the source to put an end to the one who laid La Habrea low, he said. as teleportation magics began to roil around him. Sounds like a real hero. No match for you, in other words. We must always prepare for the worst. If we are to succeed, you must resume your efforts as well. I was half inclined to tell him I preferred to sleep, but of course he was already gone, leaving me alone in the darkness. That was the last time I ever saw Elidibus. And now? Now my charms are all overthrown, and what strength I have's mine own, which is most faint as is my breath, that quavers here, at brink of death. 'Twas ever my fate to wager all for that which wrought my brother's fall, and thus the ether beckons me to depths of black eternity, to dream of things long lost and gone, and futures which might yet be won, though not by me, lest you mistake, for others wait the stage to take. And while their worth is far from sure, I bid the falling curtain pause. Let encore be my final word, their epilogue to death preferred. Damn fine reading. Thank you. Thank you. I'm glad you guys enjoyed it. I did too. Not so much, the me reading part, but the stories. They were good. Audiobook win? I don't know. I would need someone to offer to let me read an audiobook. Or I guess I would need to go on Audible and audition or something. First time hearing the story? Me too. Thanks for the reading I'll use for bed later. Indeed, indeed. There was a time back when my stream was me and 15 people that I would read bedtime stories to the stream. It was a good time. I once read Go the Fuck to Sleep to my stream. I'm pretty sure they did. Right then. Alright, my friends, it is time for the trailer. There's some affiliate quests. I will be doing side quests after the MSQ is over. Oh, look at everyone. Hey guys. Some people at the bar, some people in tables. There's a table over here. Let's sit and get ready for the trailer. Yeah, we'll be watching the trailer on YouTube. This is true. I actually made a little mistake just now and deleted my scene, so I'll have to make it again. Alright, Leith sent me the link. Let me mute the video game. There we go. YouTube. Close that. Make sure the quality is all the way up. Make sure the volume is all the way up. Full screen. And we begin.
fabric of the star had begun to fray, its lands rent by tooth and claw.
Myself, you know. And I've had enough of this rabble. Come on!
As the chaos spread, the star seemed doomed to unravel, and yet... there were those who stood in defiance of that fate. The hour is come, Vritra. It's all or nothing. Will our heroes deign to play their part? You took your time. 'Tis as we feared. The respite afforded this land was but fleeting. The end draweth nigh. Secrets to tell. Take care, my friend.
So, Sharlayan would keep its counsel while the world is lost to ruin?
It would. Come what may, we shall live on. We must.
Do as you must, then. But we Scions will fight until the heavens fall, until our last breath.
I'm catching up with present year. Damn. Man, I'm so happy that I'm a Dragoon. Holy shit. Is anyone in the entire history of all worlds created by man as cool as Estinian? Ever? I love how he's gone from fighting the dragons to now allying with dragons and riding them into battle. And that Stardiver was sick. It was so good. Y'shtola's gone and got herself looking a little bit more edgy. And Alfie finally gets a new job. Gotta admit, it looks a lot cooler. The end of days. Based on the trailer, tell us how the story is unfolding. I learned not to do that in Shadowbringers. All I know for sure is the world is ending and we're fighting against it. Yalfie's got some guns now. Guys, I think we've all learned to trust Leith when it comes to orchestrating this journey through the MSQ. It's been perfectly executed. Every time there's some kind of special dialogue or reference to a previous event, we've done that event. He says no launch trailer, we don't watch the launch trailer. We'll do it later. Don't worry. Welcome to Endwalker, thank you. Cancel keys, I can't. 40 minutes to keys. I'm gonna sit here and think a little about the trailer, and then I'm gonna play the trailer again, and then I'm gonna take the first quest, which I assume will be us journeying to Sharlayan, but maybe not. We got 40 minutes. Watching has been an amazing journey. Thank you, Mordwell. It's been an amazing journey, and I'm very happy to have been doing it with you. Hold on. A little screenshot of me with my friends. Not sure I want that blue blob to be in the picture. but that's fine. Hold on, you can't hear the sound because I turned it off. You gotta hear the sound. There we go. It doesn't count unless you hear the sound. Another angle. Carefully cut off the cult member. There we go. Very nice. We love to hear people playing musical instruments in this game. Alright, I want to watch the trailer again. Is that okay with you guys? I want to watch the trailer again. And then I'll take the first quest and we'll play a little bit. First time I just get to see. The second time I get to think about what I've seen. You know? Same reason that I think I might have to play the MSQ again.
upon us. The fabric of the star had begun to fray, its land rent by tooth and claw.
Are you all right?
I can look after myself, you know. And I've had enough of this rash. Come on!
As the chaos spread, the star seemed doomed to unravel, and yet... there were those who stood in defiance of that fate. The hour is come, Vritra. It's all or nothing.
Stage is set, but will our heroes deign to play their part?
You took your time. 'Tis as we feared. The respite afforded this land was but fleeting. The end draweth nigh. Secrets to tell. Take care, my friend.
So, Charlian would keep its counsel while the world is lost to ruin?
It would. Come what may, we shall live on. We must.
Do as you must, then. But we Scions will fight until the heavens fall, until our last breath.
Far
Really good. I love the music. You can hear hints of other themes being woven into it. It's really well done. Really, really good. That's a good trailer. Shadowbringer's trailer is still best. Shadowbringer's trailer was incredibly good. It's true. Watch it again. I will watch it again at some point, but not right now. Oh my god. I fucking love this game. This game is so special. Aww. Very good. Very, very good. Very, very good. Hey everyone. Have you read the lyrics? I have. I've read some of the lyrics of some of the songs. You guys saw me a few days ago or weeks ago. Time is losing all meaning. Reading the lyrics of some of these songs. This is so cool. I love this stuff. Hanging out with my friends. Hey everyone. Burn the Lala? No, Lalas are people too. You suffocate me? I'm too clingy. You need a house? Yeah. How much of a house can I buy for 4 million gil? And you're so tall. All right, let me go take the quest. We have 26 minutes, which is enough time to do the first part, right? Don't you guys think? Or should I stop? Stop, 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 stop. Everyone says stop. Alright, that's too many stops. I believe you. I believe you. I don't want to be rushed. I don't want to be rushed. I like to enjoy it. I don't want to be rushed. Can't believe we started with a joke that you'll finish Heavenwards before DRS. Some people were betting on like day 1 or day 2 of me doing the MSQ. People are like, do you guys think he's going to finish Heavenward so that he can understand the lore of DSR? You guys didn't know back then. We had only just gotten introduced. You didn't know what this was going to be like. Any MSQ later? No, today's a WoW day. I've got Mythic Plus into raids, and I think it's unreasonable to start MSQ like 8 hours from now or more. So I will call it a day after WoW is over for the day, and then tomorrow it's back to MSQings. Today is the WoW day this week. I was glad to get this 3 hours in because I really wanted to finish Shadowbringers and I really wanted to watch the trailer. But normally I wouldn't have done any Final Fantasy today, right? Normally I would have, if I'm not doing the quest, I may as well go back outside. Normally I wouldn't bother. On a full WoW day, I would have just slept in and done the whole WoW day and it would have, you know, been its own thing. I've done that last week, for example. But since I wanted to finish Shadowbringers, I was like, screw it, we'll get up at 5 a.m. and do it. A little art offering? Let me take a look, Sunia. Let me take a look. Wow! Oh my god, I love it. Look at this. That is beautiful. You are very talented. Very, very good. It's so unbelievably cool. Oh my goodness, this game is so special. It's so cool that several people have been inspired by this journey through the MSQ together with all of you guys, that they're doing art of it. I don't even know, my friends. That's amazing. The art of this game is inspiring additional art. So good. I wish I was the sheep. I mean, that could be arranged. It's the pain unifying us all. But the thing is, it's not just the pain, right? There's pain and then there's glory. There's suffering and gratification and redemption and joy. Anyone else asked about the story? You guys heard in DSR progression a couple of times Scripe and Roger asking what I thought about it, and I told them I think it's awesome. I think they'd love it. Think you've been playing too much or too little? Robin, it's very pretty. I like my current outfit. Kind of a weathered, rugged look plus the pink cape. I think it's good. Final Fantasy's wholesome. Final Fantasy community is unbelievably awesome. It's man, it was weird seeing Lala do push-ups, gotta say. I love it. This is so amazing. Being able to talk with people from all over the world about this amazing story and experience them being in the world with me is very wholesome and fun. You should watch Final Fantasy XVI trailer, maybe after MSQ. Work on your adventure plate? I will at some point. I'm just gonna chat with you right now. I don't think I've got enough time to make an adventure plate. We've only got 20 minutes. Trailer? No, not right now, guys. I'm a one thing at a time kind of person. I just don't like doing something when something else is left unfinished. It's MSQ and only MSQ. I'll look at Final Fantasy 16 when I'm done with the MSQ. I'll play Final Fantasy something after I'm done with MSQ. Normally in that situation, I would say I'll play Final Fantasy X, where X means something, but I can't do that because then the Final Fantasy X Andes will be pogging and everyone else will be magic. See? I will do BioShock. I've bought BioShock already. It's on my games list. I'll be playing it after I'm done with the MSQ. We'll do just a single stream. We'll start in the morning and I'll play BioShock all the way through in one sitting. I have to, after Preach asked me like that. First stream I watched, you wondered about an orchestrion role and said, what am I becoming? I know, it's crazy. This has had a profound impact on my MMO gaming personality. I've collected a lot of orchestrions. The music in this game is so good and so integral to the story. It's part of my memories of the story. You know how powerful music can be. Like, there are songs that if I listen to today, instantly bring me back to being 15 years old, to a particular moment or time in my life. And the Final Fantasy music does the same thing with regard to its own story. It's awesome to see how many people do the music playing in this game. You guys know what I'll be listening to today during World of Warcraft. Emotional damage. Some. Black Wolf Stalks. I love Black Wolf Stalks, but it's not on Spotify. Only covers are. Justin Bieber, just such a talented artist. I'm just still thinking about the trailer. I'm reluctant, but it's almost time to log over. Maybe I won't be late today like I was every other day this week.
Connected. Channel switched.
Excited to do Endwalker? I'm very excited to do Endwalker. I'm gonna catch up to all of you. I'm gonna see the moon. I'm gonna learn what the heck we were doing in Pandemonium. Why we're there. Who those bosses are. Then you get stuck waiting. True. Excited to be stuck every 4 months waiting for story. Yeah, that'll be cool. When you played Final Fantasy, did you play without sound? Usually I played with background music off and sound effects on. The sound effects are actually kind of useful for hearing, like, when my smite lands. While I'm watching Netflix on one screen and spamming 1111111 on the other screen while I was leveling, you know, I needed those sound effects to tell me. It's been amazing watching you do the MSQ. Thank you for streaming. Thank you very much for enjoying it, Razzles. I really appreciate it. If you guys want to add anything, suggestions for things for me to do after MSQ. After MSQ, I'm going to be doing a couple of things, okay? We're going to have a reaction-based stream where whatever you guys want me to see from Preach, from videos, from YouTube, reactions to people watching my content, whatever, all of it, we're going to do that for a day. And then we're going to do, potentially on the same day, an ether current day. I'm going to learn how to fly. With diligent farming, I'm gonna work really hard and go get all the ether currents, and by that I mean I'm gonna ride in a car and be driven to all of them. Ideally someone with a whale mount, and we'll have an ether current party with a bunch of us all riding together. We'll have champagne, we'll dress up, we'll look all purty, we'll have a nice party. I would love to have a talk with Mike, or anyone else who wants to talk about the MSQ. And then, after all of the post-MSQ stuff, then I'm going to play through all of the side stories in this game that are good. So if you think there's a side story in this game that you want me to see, that you want me to play, send it to Leaf. There's even a form you can submit it. If you're super helpful, you can submit all the information about the quest, where it starts, all that good stuff, and I'll be doing all of them. For example, everyone says Dark Knight story is great, we're going to do it. Someone says another side story is great, we're going to do it. I'm going to do all the side stories. This game is amazing, I want to play it. I'm also going to be doing a lot of actually like playing the end game, right? I'm going to gear up my White Mage, I'm going to gear up my Dragoon, I'm going to be doing home farms, I'm going to be doing Pandemonium farms to get all this gear, and I would love for some of you to play with me while we do that. I mean, carry me. so that Robin is ready to do progression in the next tier. Robin, the DSR is the last thing I'm playing with my old character. Robin is my main. There's a lot of stuff to do. It's gonna take us several months to do all of this stuff. And then if we finish all of that, then it'll be time for Final Fantasy X. This game has been so good that we need to play some other games from the same studio. It would be absolutely absurd to love this game and then not play anything else from that studio. I've never played any other Final Fantasy, ever. And I need to. After all you've done with Robin, you would drag him to healer jail. I mean, I'm going to gear up my Dragoon, I'm going to gear up my White Mage, and I'm going to gear up Summoner for sure, those three. And I think I'll gear up the Dark Knight too. Why not have one of each role? And then I will beg and plead to be out of healer jail. And then I will play White Mage next tier. Because jail isn't a place that you just get out of. Jesse likes stardiving. I love stardiving. I may commission some more art for the stream. We've already commissioned, and it's already being worked on, some new emotes about Robin and new sub-badges. And I might commission some more art. I think it'd be cool to have some kind of a starting screen or an ending screen that involves Robin doing a stardiver. I might do that. That'd be super poggers. And yes, it's because I'm jealous of the scene from the trailer with Estinian doing a stardiver. How can I not be jealous of that? I need Robin doing that in my life. Jumping off a sheep, that's actually a pretty good idea. I love the sheep now. Preach doesn't heal. Sounds like every other healer in this game. Sounds like he knows what's up. Next Tuesday, they remove the weekly lockout on Panda and add data center travel so I can show up and get you geared one day. Alright, there it is. Although I won't be done by next Tuesday, but whenever I'm done with the MSQ, then we can farm Panda for my White Mage and my Dragoon. And maybe my Summoner and my Dark Knight when I get them done too. I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, this is the third or fourth bard we've had playing so far today. Holly was playing for a while. Grimmy was playing for a while. I've heard Mizuzu play. Now we have Nira playing. We done by next Tuesday? Let's see. When I do nothing, like it usually takes me 3 to 4 days to do the base storyline of an expansion, right? I think Shadowbringers was 3. And then another 3 or 4 days to do all the patches. Although I guess we don't have as many patches in Endwalker. I might be ready to start progressing my gear and my characters. Although I still have to level some of them too, right? The Dragoon might be ready on Tuesday, but the White Mage won't. The Summoner won't. I'm gonna go ahead and fix my sound for WoW. I have to do this. Turn down the desktop so you guys aren't overwhelmed by all of the noises. And it's time to log into the game. Goodbye, everyone. I hope you all enjoy your days. I'm saying bye to people in the room, not all of you guys. Although, I'm also saying goodbye to 80% of you. Alright. Goodbye, friends. I'm logging out. Swapping video games. Change my title. Whoops. There's my window capture. That's not great.
Yeet.